Hello to all my uniques out there. This is your girl Akudo. Welcome to your unique wisdom. For this month, we are celebrating survivors of domestic violence. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So, throughout this month, I'm going to be speaking on domestic violence. I'm going to be speaking on different types of domestic violence. I'm going to be talking on the signs so that we will be aware. We are creating awareness. Remember, knowledge is power. If you have the knowledge and you are aware of what is happening with you, then you will be in a better position to ask and seek for help. Domestic violence, like I defined last time, is a violent and aggressive behavior that occur in the home, whereby a spouse will behave aggressively and violently against the other person. There are so many kinds of domestic violence. There are so many kinds of abuse. We have physical abuse, we have verbal abuse, we have sexual abuse, we have financial abuse, we have cultural abuse, we have spiritual abuse, we have all kinds of abuse. But for this video, I'm going to talk about physical abuse. What to look for, signs of physical abuse, different types of physical abuse, and how we can get help. My unique knowledge, like I said earlier on, is power. When you know better, you do better. Life is the most important thing. Your life is important. Your life matters. My life matters. We need to take care of each other and take care of ourselves. And the only way we can do that is if we are informed and we are educated, then we can be empowered to stand as a community, stand as individuals, stand as a society, and say no to domestic violence, and say no to any and all kinds of abuse. It is not accepted, it is not tolerated, it is not welcomed in our society. Now let me go forward. What is physical abuse? Most people, everybody says physical abuse is only when we are wrestling. I've had some people, since after my last video, I've received a lot of emails, and some sisters and some brothers too are saying, okay, I am the one that is doing the beating. Some sisters are saying, I'm the one that is doing the punching. So I'm not being physically abused. I'm not in a domestic violence relationship because I'm the one that is beating him. And then some brothers are saying, I'm the one being abused. So how do I tell it? How do I tell people that my wife is abusing me physically? So you see that a lot of emails have come in and people are confused. What is physical abuse? Is it pushing? Is it biting? Is it scratching? So today's video, I'm going to say what physical abuse means. I'm going to say what it looks like, and I'm going to say how we can get help. Physical abuse has been defined as any intentional act any intentional act causing injury or trauma to another person. Any intentional act, not unintentional, not by accident. I might be going down the step and I fell, or I might be going down the hallway and maybe pushed you or something. No. That is not intentional. The definition says intentional acts causing injury or trauma to another person or animal by way of bodily contact. Bodily contact. When you come in contact with somebody's body and intentionally the contact is intended to cause harm, injury, and trauma to the person. If it was intentional, it is abuse. If it was by accident, Maybe you wanted to grab something and accidentally your hands, touched the person, and it was unintentional. You didn't plan it. You were not planning to use that act to control and maintain power over that person. Then that's not physical abuse. Physical abuse is when it is intentional. You intentionally want to control this person, maintain power over this person through bodily contact by intentionally causing injury, causing harm, and causing trauma in the person's life. Some other people say it starts gradually. It's not something that happens immediately. It's a gradual process. And he says it starts by maybe something as simple as a push, something as simple as a slap, something as simple as hitting the person with your shoulder when you guys are passing the hallway. Something very simple, and then it gradually, progressively gets worse as time goes on. He said it becomes progressively worse over time. They start with a push, with a slap, with a little pinch, with a little scratch, with a little, biting here and there, and then it progressively gets worse. It now comes down to a real wrestling match whereby, you know what, you get ready and I get ready. We are going to talk it out. And then people are saying, when did this happen? My sister, my brother, it is a gradual process. It starts very simple and then it graduates and then it gets worse. Physical abuse causes harm, injury, and trauma. Sometimes it might not be physical harm, it might not be physical bruise you can see. You might not see it, but it's causing physical trauma. You are traumatized whenever you think about it. And it can be different kinds of there can be different kinds of physical abuse. My sisters, my brothers, I want you to listen and listen real good. There are different kinds of physical abuse, and I'm going to talk about them. The first one is shaking. Most people don't know that shaking is a kind of physical abuse. They hold on to you and say, do you hear me? Are you listening to me? They are shaking you. It's not even safe to shake infants. Babies, when you shake infants, that's a no-no. That's a big no-no. Because they are infants, their brains are not really set, and you're pushing and tugging at them. Then now you are not only shaking your infant, but now you're shaking your partner. You're shaking the person that is supposed to be the love of your life. You're shaking your life partner, your helper. That's who you're shaking. When they come and they are so angry, it can be a sister, it can be a brother. Shaking, number one, is a form of physical abuse. My uniques, shaking, that's number one. Number two, slapping. They slap you here and there. Everything that come out of your mouth, what? They don't like what you're saying, what? They don't like the way you looked at them. Everything is about slap. They are very easy to slap. That's a form of physical abuse. Remember number one? I said number one is shaking. Number two is slapping. Number three is pushing. Whenever they come near you, they push you away. They throw you out like you're a piece of rag. They just push you. They push you here, they push you there, they push you here. They don't want to hear from you. They don't like what you're doing. They push you out of the way like you are a piece of furniture. They just move you out of the way. Pushing, that's physical abuse. Then we talk about punching. There are some men, there are some women that, they think they're in a boxing match. They are heavyweight champions. They go poo, 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 poo. Who are you punching, my brother? Who are you punching, my sister? That is supposed to be the love of your life. That is supposed to be your helper. That is supposed to be the woman or the man you fell in love with. Why is it now a boxing match? There is no title. There is no heavyweight champion belt. There is no lightweight champion belt you guys are fighting for. Love is not supposed to hurt. Love is not a boxing match. Love is not a wrestling place. They now punch you. Not only are they going to push you, now they have come to punching. Another one is scratching. Most women we do this. Ooh, we have those long nails, and when you rub us the wrong way, we might not be able to punch, we might not be able to shake you. If it's a sister, she might not be able to shake the husband, she might not be able to push the husband around if the husband is maybe bigger and stronger than her, but she knows how to use her fingers. She will scratch you from head to toe. She will scratch you up from your head to your toe. She will scratch your back. She will scratch every part that her finger can touch. She will scratch you. That's another form of physical abuse. Then kicking is a form of physical abuse. Maybe you and your spouse, you guys are arguing, and then maybe something you hit and then you kick. Your wife or your husband is not a ball. It's not a football. You guys are not turning your home into a football match. Neither are you turning your home into a soccer field. Nobody is supposed to be kicked. You don't kick your furniture. You don't kick your tables. You don't kick your bed. You don't kick things in your house. Why do you think it's okay to kick a whole human being? Why do you think it's acceptable to kick your wife or to kick your husband? Like we say, I'm a teacher, and what do we tell children? Keep your hands and your legs to yourself. We do walking feet. Your feet are supposed to be used for walking, not for kicking. Keep it to yourself, my brother. Keep it to yourself, my sister. Our home is supposed to be a safe haven. Our homes are not supposed to be a boxing match, a wrestling match. Neither is our home supposed to be a football field or a soccer field. Keep those legs to yourself. Kicking is another type of physical abuse. The next one is spitting. Some women normally do this. My sisters, I'm going to be real. I'm going to keep it real. We are the ones that love to spit. When you get so angry and then you go to the guy and it's like, you spit on him. That is physical abuse. Some of you think, oh, but I didn't hit him. Oh, but he's the one that is hitting me. I did not even touch him, but you spit on him. When you spit on him, that is physical abuse, because that is, remember the definition, that is causing him harm, injury, and trauma. That's what you just did. Spitting is another form of physical abuse. Please keep the saliva in your mouth where it belongs. Don't be spitting at people. Don't be spitting at human beings. Your spit is not supposed to go on your husband. Neither is your spit supposed to be on your wife. Keep it right in your mouth. That's where God created it. That's where God said it should be. Leave it right there inside your mouth. Don't be spitting because you're angry. Don't be spitting because most people will say, but I was just angry. My sister, my brother, anger is not an excuse to physically abuse your spouse. Anger. We all get angry, but we are grown to have a little bit of control when we are angry. Anger is not an excuse for you to physically spit, physically kick, physically shake, push, or kick your partner or your spouse. No matter how mad you are, no matter how angry you are, my brother, just walk away. Just walk away, my sister. If you know you are that angry and you can't control yourself, sister, walk away. Brother, walk away. But don't sit there and kick, or don't sit there and spit, my sister. Keep your saliva right in your mouth where it belongs. Another form of physical abuse is biting. We women do that too. You know what? Since the men are stronger than us, maybe when we are fighting, they hit you, and the only thing you can do is any part of their body that you can reach, sister, you go for it. You bite as much as you want, and any part that you can reach. My sister, please, let's stop the biting. You might say, oh, but I'm not fighting him. He's the one abusing me. It was because the abuse was too much. That's why I was trying to bite him. Honey, don't bite nobody. Biting is a form of physical abuse. If you are biting your husband, you are physically abusing that man. My brother, if you're biting your wife, you are physically abusing that woman. Let's not bite. Use your teeth to eat. Bite your food. Use your teeth to do what it was meant for. Your teeth was not meant to be biting your husband or your wife. Please, my sister, please, 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 my uniques, let us identify all these forms of physical abuse. And if you are doing any of this, or you belong to any of this category, my brother, my sister, remember this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Let's come together as a society and stop and say no. No to any kind of abuse. It is not allowed, it's not tolerated, and it is not welcomed in our homes. Another form of physical abuse is trying to choke or strangle. Most of my brothers do that. When the woman is running her mouth, she can't keep quiet. She's talking and talking. Women, they are talking 3,000 words in a minute. And the man may be like 70 words a minute. But women are going 3,000 words, 30,000 words a minute. We can talk, my brothers. And then you want to tell her to stop talking. Now you're choking. You're trying to strangle her. My brother, that's physical abuse. And some women too, they might not want to choke, but they hold their husbands so tight on their thighs and hold them on their chest, even though you're not trying to choke, but you're also trying to strangle. If you're holding his shirt like this and the man can't breathe, my sister, you are physically abusing that man. And my brother, when you try to tell her to shut up, stop talking on her throat, my brother, you are choking her. That is physical abuse. If she's talking too much, my sisters, please let us curtail the calling of names, the talking too much. But my brother, that's not an excuse. If she is talking too much and you can't take the talking, can you please walk away? Go somewhere else. Go. If she's in the bedroom, go to the living room. If she's in the living room, go somewhere else where you don't have to hear it. But trying to choke, trying to strangle, my brother, that's a no-no. My sister, that's also a no-no. This is not just for the brothers, because the brothers might go choking the throat or go straight for the throat, but my sisters will go for the shirt. We go for the shirt and hold it real tight, and the man can barely breathe. Please, like I said earlier on, let us keep our hands to ourselves. Keep our hands to ourselves. Another form of physical abuse is using weapons. When you're having an argument or something in a family and you want to bring out your weapon, you want to threaten them with weapons in the house, you want to bring out things and try to intimidate them, my brother, that is physical abuse. If I hear you say something, I'm going to do this to you, I'm going to threaten you with this because now I want to intimidate you, I want to threaten you with this, I want to show you that I have more power over you. My brother, my sister, that is physical abuse. That is physical. That's a type of physical abuse. Another type of physical abuse is destroying people's property, your spouse's property. Some of us women, we do that. When we get mad, we take all their clothes and burn them. Or when we get mad, we go take all their shoes out at the back and we set it on fire. Or if we are mad, we go scratch up their car or do this to them. That is a form of physical abuse, my uniques. Don't destroy what doesn't belong to you. Even if you bought it with your money, you bought it for him, so now it's his. When you give somebody a gift, it becomes that person's property. You don't have the right to destroy it. You are so angry that maybe he's bigger than you, you don't want to go fight him, but what you do is you destroy everything that he owns. My sister, that is a form of physical abuse. If you didn't know it before, now you know it from this video. That is a form of physical abuse. Please stop. Leave those shoes alone. Leave those shirts alone. Leave his car alone. Leave his property alone. Destroying the TV, destroying the couch, destroying his car. What does he do for you, my sister? It doesn't make you feel better. For the moment, it might make you feel better, but after that, then what? Then what, my brother? After destroying your wife's clothes, after destroying whatever she has, then what? What do you do next? There is nothing else to do. You are still mad. The problem is still there. Now you have double problem. The problem you were mad about and now the property you destroyed. Two issues. we have to deal with now. So the next form of physical abuse is I said destroying things. The next one is sleep and food deprivation. When you say, you know what, because you didn't listen to me, some people, the women do this and my brothers do this. The women will say, oh, you didn't do what I told you to do. You know what, I'm not cooking in this house today. You're gonna go hungry. And you know that man loves to eat. You know my brother loves to eat. And you say, you know what, since you're like this, I'm not cooking anything today. You're going to deprive him of food, and then you're going to deprive him of sleep. Oh, you know what, you're not sleeping here today. Get out. You're not sleeping here today. Sleep and food deprivation is also a form of physical abuse. You are physically abusing each other. Another one is when you say sleep and food deprivation. Another one is locking the house, locking your spouse out. I know some of you will say, really? But I didn't hit him. I didn't hit her. I just locked her out of the house. Yes. Did you cause harm? When you locked him or her out of the house, did you cause harm? Yes. Did you cause injury? Yes. Did you cause trauma? And because you did that, based on our definition, you physically abused that man. My sister, my brother, you know, sometimes they say misery loves company. Because we are mad, because we are upset, so we think everything and everybody around us, especially our spouse, need to get and feel exactly the same way we feel. So because I'm mad, I'm going to take it out on my husband. I'm going to lock the house. I'm going to make him sleep outside. I'm not going to cook in this house. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. My sister, my brother, we are doing this to ourselves and we think it's okay. We are doing this to ourselves and we think it is okay. Physical restraints. You know, I'm going to lock you out. You're not going to come in here. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. My sister, my brother, if you didn't know before, that's a form of physical abuse. I have said a lot of them. If you fall into any of this category, my sister, my brother, I'm here to beg you. I'm here to plead with you. Let us stop. Let us, stop from this behavior. Why are we abusing the ones that we love most? We go out there and people say, oh, what a wonderful woman. Oh, what a wonderful man. What a generous man. What a generous woman. Oh my God, this woman is so kind. This husband is so kind. And then we come into our homes and we turn into what I don't even know. We turn into what we ourselves will not be able to recognize. We are kind to everybody out there, but we are mean to each other in our homes. We have a kind word for everybody out there, but we have the worst words for each other here. We are derogatory. We use derogatory words to each other. We are mean to each other. We physically abuse each other. We push each other. We kick. We slap. We bite. We spit on each other. But when we go out there, we are so kind and loving and caring to outsiders that don't know us. But the people that know us the most, the people that love us the most, the people that cherish us the most, because we claim we are angry, we tend to dump on them. We tend to maltreat them. We tend to misuse them. We tend to step on them and treat them like they are nobodies because we think nobody can see inside our homes. My brother, my sister, the outsider might not see your home. The society might not see your home. But remember, there is somebody that sees inside your home, and that's God. What you're doing to that sister, the kind of physical abuse you're giving to that sister, how would you feel? Come on, come closer, my uniques. It's not real talk. Let's talk. How would you feel if somebody treated your sister that way? That your wife is somebody's sister. That your wife is somebody's daughter. That your wife is somebody's niece. That your wife is somebody's cousin. And now, my sisters, that man is somebody's brother. That man is somebody's son. That man is somebody's nephew. And that man is somebody's cousin. How would you feel if your daughter, if your brother comes home and tells you, look at what my wife is doing to me. She pushes me, she slaps me, she kicks me, she bites me, she scratches me, she spits on me. How would you feel? Remember, even the Bible says you do unto others what you want them to do unto you. When physically you are abusing your spouse, how would you feel if the shoe is on the other feet and that son, that husband is your son, or that your husband is your brother, or that your husband is your nephew, or that your husband is your cousin? And my sister, how would you feel? My brothers, how would you feel if the way you treat your wife, that your wife is your cousin, that your wife is your niece, that your wife is your sister, or that your wife is your daughter? You see, it is so good to go out there and be all bad and bougie. Just be all bad and bougie and do whatever you like. Who cares? I get to do, this is my house. This is my kingdom. I do whatever I want. But remember, if that was your member of your family, if she or he was a member of your family, you wouldn't let anybody treat them that way. So please don't treat each other that way. Don't treat each other that way. That is physical abuse. And now let's talk about help. The last time I talked about things you can do. When you are in this position, if you are in this physical abuse, you see all the abuse I mentioned. I talked about shaking, I talked about slapping, I talked about pushing, I talked about punching, I talked about scratching, I talked about kicking, spitting, biting, trying to choke and strangle. I talked about using weapons. I talked about doing dangerous things. I talked about destroying property. I talked about abusing children. I talked about locking each other out. I talked about sleep and food deprivation. I talked about forcing people to feed, and I talked about restraint, physical restraint, like locking them out of the house or locking them down somewhere. All these 16 of them are all types of physical abuse. My sister, if you need help, if you are in this position, this is how you can get help. Number one, talk, talk, and talk. Keep talking, my sister, until somebody hears you. Keep talking, my brother, until somebody hears you. And those of us that are not in the situation, if you see a sister or a brother going through this, speak out. Speak out until your sister and your brother is safe. Speak out until you have saved that soul. We don't need to hear another incident. We don't want to have the data anymore. We are tired of this data of so point, this died. We don't want to be concerned about it. We are going to stop it before it happens. Remember, I talked about the National Domestic Violence Hotline. It is in the description box. Call that number. Seek for help. Remember, my uniques, domestic violence is not allowed. Any and all kinds of abuse is not allowed in our families, is not allowed in our community, is not allowed in our society. We as a people, we are going to stand up and say no to domestic violence, no to abuse, and no to any form of abuse. Give us a thumbs up, share the video. Remember to write me, uniqueakudo@gmail.com. You are beautifully and wonderfully made by God. That is why you are unique. Remember, be kind to yourself and to each other. Bye-bye.